What's going on, everybody? Customizer Depot here, and today we're coming at you with another tutorial. We're turning these calabasas into OVOs. Stay tuned. All right, everybody, thank you very much for coming and hanging out with us. First things first, we're just going to show you what the shoe looked like before we started working on it. We really didn't do too much to it. We put the owls for the OVO since Drake just went to Team Adidas, or it was rumored that he was going to Team Adidas, and we put October's very own where the Calabasas would be. So if you guys want to watch, stay tuned. We'll show you the entire process of how to paint. We have our own stencils that we do in-house. So definitely, if you're looking for stencils, go to the links below. They're located right there on our website, and you can definitely purchase. If you have any questions, definitely hit us up. First things first, do us a huge favor, like and subscribe to this video and our channel. We totally appreciate it. And now I'm gonna get into what you are going to need for this custom. What we just did basically is we took the laces out first, and then I just rubbed a little bit of rubbing alcohol on the toe box and the calabasas, because those are the work areas that I'm going to be working on. And so it's heat embossed, right? And basically the best way to take this out, like we put a little bit of acetone and rubbing alcohol on the tip, and then once we heat it up, we're able to take off that piece of like material that's hanging off with the gold that says Calabasas on it. So it's not that difficult, and it's not like an entire, it's not really that difficult to take it off. It's just that it's a little bit tedious because you don't want to chip everything else around it. The other thing that's a little bit difficult is it's not like color matching, because we use Angelus products, and Angelus is really good when it comes to this, and their flat black worked really well as a color match to this particular shoe and the custom that we did today, which is pretty cool. So just keep watching. I'm just gonna explain to you the other tools that we're gonna need today, as well as the paint. Everything that we use is Angelus. So we use you can use the Angelus leather preparing deglazer if you don't have acetone or alcohol, or if you're gonna buy anything from Angelus. That's probably one of the key products that you're going to need. It's Angelus leather preparing deglazer. We also use Too Thin, or you can use GAC 900. Those are the two things that you're gonna need if you're using an airbrush the way that we did. The other paints that we used, I used the beige and the 18 karat gold metallic. Again, all of these products are Angelus. We also use the flat black to do the touch-ups, because when I take the stencil off, that stencil is it's gonna come off with a little bit of the paint, that factory paint. So it's gonna look like it needs it, and definitely will need it. The other thing is that you're gonna need an X-Acto blade. You're also gonna need a blow dryer or a heat gun, whichever one you have on hand. We also used Angelus white. So basically, I'll just go through it again. We have the Angelus white, the Angelus beige, the Angelus black, as well as the metallic 18 karat gold by Angelus. So I'm gonna go into depth with that a little bit later once we start getting into the painting job. Right now, again, we're still stripping the calabasas so that we can put our stencil on that says October's very own on it, which is Drake's company. So yeah, just stay tuned, keep watching. I'm just gonna be picking at this thing for a little bit more time. I don't have tweezers, but now that I have tweezers, fully regret using my fingers because it's way easier using tweezers. So yeah, definitely pick up a pair of tweezers if you haven't already done so. Super convenient, by the way. So right here, I'm just taking the Angelus Flat Black, and as you can see, it's a really good color match. You can't really tell that that's not factory. It's not coming from Adidas just like that. A little bit later, you'll see that it definitely covers up the embossed area that had the Calabasas on it. So it's like I said, you're gonna see a little bit later, once I start removing the stencils off, that it's gonna look like a nightmare. But once you go in there, you start doing your touch-ups, it looks fine. Now we're just lining the October and the very own stencil onto the shoe where the Calabasas would be. So we made it about just the same size as it would be. And again, you know, when you take a stencil, you want to properly apply the pressure onto the transfer tape when you're putting it onto the shoe, only because you don't want the stencil to be laid down on flat. And this is a prime example right here. You see we took the negative from the positive off of the sneaker, off of the stencil, just so that we can put it on the shoe. You want to line it up. We lined it up with the holes because it was spot on, you know, from our left shoe and our right shoe. So it was very easy to do. And right here we're just, again, you're gonna apply pressure on the corner that you're gonna remove first, and then you're gonna apply downward pressure onto the side that's being flipped over to have the stencil being removed. So it's again, it's a little bit of a process. If you haven't done this before, it's like there's a learning curve, and then once you do it a couple of times, you'll realize how simple it is and how easy that you can do this. Also, what you really want to do is you want to get those Angelus shoe trees, just like I put them in there. That's another product that you're gonna need or you're gonna use. So definitely go check out Angelus for that. The link will be in the description box below. And again, you want to just put pressure onto the shoe. And since this toe box is very, very, very pliable, it's super mushy, you know, which makes it a comfortable shoe. You know, that's why you're gonna want to put a shoe tree in there, so that way you can apply that pressure on there without the shoe just like basically folding itself like under. So there you go. That's how easy it was to put the stencil on. Pretty simple. And then again, you want to just you can use a heat gun right here, so that way you can remove the bubbles and those wrinkled areas, just so that way you can get a nice even surface. That way you don't have to do too many touch-ups in the future when you start painting, because it can seep under those folded over areas. That's a nice key tip for you guys to remember. On the next step, and what we're doing is we're using automotive tape, which doesn't leave that much residue the same way that any other kind of like duct tape leaves. It's sticky, but it also, again, that glue doesn't leave that residue, which is pretty good, which is why we use this green tape. And we're putting the tape down just so that way when we're using the airbrush, that paint doesn't go everywhere that we don't need it to go. So right now, all we want to do is do the positive area of that stencil, since we removed the negative, and we just want to paint on the positive area. So we can do this. You can use a paper towel. So here are our products. We have Angelus White, Beige, we have that pearlescent, 18 karat gold. I thought it was metallic, sorry, but it is the pearlescent. We also have Angelus Too Thin. We also have some plastic cups that we're gonna do our mixing in. And this is the materials that you're gonna use, or that we use, to get that gold look onto the shoe. So first you want to put the Too Thin, and then you want to evenly distribute it to the other colors. And again, the reason why we're using Too Thin, you could also use GAC 900, and the reason why is so that way you can thin that paint, this acrylic paint, so that you can put it through, so that it flows through the airbrush a lot quicker without giving you so many clogs. We have Angelus White, which is going to be our base coat, and then we're going to put Angelus Beige afterwards, because that's going to be the base coat. That's going to be like the secondary base coat for the 18 karat gold. It's a very watery color. Yeah, it's a very watery paint. So the reason why you want to put like a secondary base down is because you're going to have to lay down way too many coats of that 18 karat gold, and then since it's very glittery, you're not going to get you're not gonna get the look that you're going for if you don't put down that secondary base coat. So remember, white first, then beige, then the 18 karat gold that you're going for. It's those are just the rules on how to paint, you know, or how to trying to get that pearlescent color. You can try to use a yellow, but again, the more yellow that you put, it's gonna leave that residue in the background on top of the 18 karat gold. So you want something that's gonna be very, very close to that 18 karat gold, and we found that beige was the closest thing to that. After the white, you know, we're gonna get started on to the beige. And then you're gonna repeat the same process that you did with the white. You're gonna do about 1 or 2 coats, like 1 or 2 passes, just so that way you get that base coat of the beige down. So that way, the 18 karat gold will just shine a lot brighter. We're gonna put the 18 karat gold on, and you're gonna start to see that it's gonna almost look like the same thing, but it's just gonna be a lot shinier. Also, you wanna be pretty careful with the 18 karat gold, because since it has those gold flakes, you always constantly wanna be mixing that mixture of the too thin and the 18 karat gold, just so that way it doesn't sit and you're not putting just too thin in your airbrush, you know, because you just have to mix it, because it just sinks down, because it's so heavy. It's so much heavier than just the regular, you know, like the flat white or the flat black or the beige, you know. So it will literally sink, because it's just like glitter. That glitter would just, like, you know, scrunch down to the bottom of the cup, and then the too thin will just stay on the top. So again, just give it a nice mix before you put it into your airbrush, and then do the same thing to your work area. You know, paint, then blow dry or heat gun, depending on the on which one you have, and then repeat the process about 2 times, and then remove the stencil slowly. So here we are removing our stencil, and remember when I told you in the beginning that once we started taking this this stencil off, it literally tore the paint off the base of the shoe, and it left us with that gooey residue. So we definitely had to you know, go over it with a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Acetone might be a little too strong. You could also probably use the Angelus leather preparing the glazer, but then again, after this entire process, what we did was we went back into it with the Angelus flat black. And the reason why we did that was because of the material and the way that the shoe looked. You know, like, it's not glossy, it's a very matte look, it's a very matte finish. So we just went with the flat black, and the reason why we did that is because it definitely looked nicer. So right here, some of the paint chipped off, but then you're gonna go ahead and do the touch-ups that you need to do with a paintbrush or a pick or a toothpick or anything that you have to do, you know, like your very, very fine line. And right here we had to do the same thing, because it ate some of the paint away and it just chipped. So that's the best method to do it. Once you get started, you're just gonna have to, you know, like, figure out the ins and outs of your work area and and your leathers, your canvases and everything, just so that way you can get a good detailed job at the end of the day. And since each shoe is completely different, you know, like no shoe is the same, even though the leather is the same, you see the difference. And what it looked like when it came off of this, it looks horrendous. Like it came out looking really, really bad. It took the paint off, like really hard off of this one. So, and that's what, you know, that's what Angelus is for. It was made for touching up in this case, and it definitely saved us, because I mean, I'm not gonna send these shoes out looking really gross. You'll see in the end what it looks like with the flat black on it with a matte finisher. And you can also use any kind of finisher you want. I mean, if you wanted to make this one gloss, Angelus makes a gloss. They also make a matte finish, the satin finish. I really like the satin finish. The satin finish would have been my favorite to use with this one, but we went ahead and used like a matte. So you can use either or. With the touch-ups, what we did on this one, we did them off camera. So you're gonna go ahead and see everything that we did, like I guess post touch-ups. So again, guys, thank you very much for coming in and watching. We hope you guys liked this video. In the event that you did, please give us a thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and subscribe, so that way you guys can be up to date with our latest tutorial videos and any other videos that we have coming up, whether it be, you know, shoe reviews or anything silly that we're doing for the day. So definitely keep up with us. We totally appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out, watching our videos. In the event that you guys are looking for stencils, we have stencils on our website. If you don't see anything that you particularly need, definitely send us an email, shoot us a DM, hit us up on any of our social media, and we'll answer you as fast as we possibly can, and definitely can get something out to you, you know, custom made. Also, if you're looking for shoes, we have a whole bunch of shoes on our website, customizerdepot.net. We have literally over 50, like we have well over 50, possibly in the hundreds at this point. We have over 100 custom products on our website, and we definitely do a lot of cool sales. So go check us out, customizerdepot.net. Don't forget to hit us up on our social medias, which we are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, well, basically everywhere at Customizer Depot. And again, follow us, subscribe. We're gonna do a giveaway for these sometime very soon. We don't know yet. But thank you very much. Congratulations to our winners for the accessories giveaways that we did. Forgot their names, but it was 4 of them. We gave away a pair of socks and 3 phone rings. We're gonna do it again soon, so definitely stay up to date with us, stay subscribed, so that way you can be one of those winners too. So thank you guys very much for hanging out with us again. We totally appreciate it.